Welcome to the Arts Asia podcast for the Heritage Project in India's Image. I'm Aniska, a History of Art undergraduate at the University of York and an Arts Asia volunteer. Today I'm in conversation with Dr. Graham Whitehall. Graham is a culture historian with a particular interest in Anglo-Indian art and architecture. So Graham, first of all, can we talk a little bit about what does it mean to call something Anglo-Indian?
Hi there, Aniska. It means a number of things. I mean, it's changed its meaning over the years, but essentially it's now used to denote a hybrid culture, a hybrid between English and Indian. So in terms of food, we're talking about things like mulligatawny soup, kedgeree, chutney, all things that have passed into common usage here. Likewise, clothing, things like jodhpurs, pyjamas. It can also, in terms of geological usage, mean mixed heritage, but also a way of life.
Okay, so how about in terms of architecture then?
In terms of architecture, it really means two different things. Firstly, it means kind of English-inspired architecture used in India during the colonial period, Indian railway architecture being one example. And it also means at the same time something called Indo-Saracenic art or Indo-Saracenic architecture, which is a fusion of Islamic Indian art, architecture, Hindu architecture, and that of the Western traditions. And it's really this latter Indo-Saracenic architecture that we're concerned with in this project.
So what does this mean then in terms of stylistic features that are associated with Anglo-Indian architecture?
Okay, so there's a number of classic features that have come across. There's various domes, onion domes, and sort of more sort of flattened Mughal domes, minarets, Hindu fan windows, Mughal arches, and chhatris. So if we think about the Brighton estate and wider field, there's an onion dome on the pavilion. Mm-hmm. There's likewise, if you think about the Shah Jahan Mosque at Woking, there's a central onion dome there. Mughal domes can be seen in the riding stables, mm-hmm. Pordon's riding stables. They can also be seen in the Peace Garden at Woking, the Maharaj as well. So those all the elements are then suffused across all the buildings across the southeast. And in terms of the geographical side of things, if you look at those domes, many of those domes are altered to take into account of the poor light in this country as compared to India. So there's additional kind of window lights in the dome in Pordon Stables, in the Shah Jahan Mosque, and indeed the Maharaj as well.
That differs to the way domes are used in India as well, because obviously they had a sort of glass in a lot of the domes here to, like you said, allow for light in, but then obviously in India they didn't want that because they don't want the heat to come in.
They don't want the heat and they don't need the light.
So it's adapted according to what's needed then.
In the same way that the neoclassical buildings in India that were taken from here had porches, verandas, and tatties to keep the light out.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Graham. Thank you for listening, everyone, and do check out the rest of the exhibition.